you want to know my opinion on what I think, just keep on watching. Hey guys, what's good? It's your girl Nisi here and I'm back with another video, and in today's video a big trigger warning. So in this video I want to spread awareness, especially that people that might be in a DV relationship. But as you already know by the title, I'm going to be talking about this doctor that tried to unalive his wife on her birthday. Like, it's bad to try and unalive anyone, but the fact that he tried to do it on her birthday, like, it just makes it more diabolical. So here's the crazy lunatic demon here. Listen, his mugshot says a lot. Any person when they're kind of like smiling or they've just got that weird mugshot, trust me, they're like the proper psychopaths. And the fact that he's a doctor, it kind of makes it 10 times worse. So it's just like, can you imagine if this guy was in your operation room because he gives the anesthesia to you before, you know what I mean, before he's cutting you open, and it's just like, Can you imagine? Like, I couldn't imagine having surgery and then weeks later, your surgeon's on TV, on the news, for trying to unalive his wife. It's like it could have been me. Because some people just like to unalive people for bants, innit? So, yeah. But yeah, I'm going to roll the news report clip and I will be back with my commentary.
Terror on this breathtaking hiking trail in Hawaii after police say a prominent doctor attempted to push his wife off a cliff and struck her head multiple times with a rock. Dr. Gerhard Koenig allegedly attacked his wife Ariel on her 36th birthday when his wife refused to take a photo with him on the scenic route and tried to stab her with syringes. Cops say 2 women stumbled upon the attack and chased off the doctor, who fled on foot.
I saw 3 girls coming down from there, and one of them was all bloodied up. Somebody up there bashed on her head.
An all-out manhunt for the doctor was launched by air and by ground. 7 hours later, cops say after a brief foot pursuit, they found the doctor hiding in the bushes and arrested him for attempted murder. He's an anesthesiologist who provided services at Maui Memorial Medical Center and has now been suspended. His wife, Ariel, is a nuclear engineer.
The doctor's wife is currently listed in critical condition, suffering from multiple facial and head injuries.
Whew, it's a lot. And you know what's mad? When I first heard this story, it sounds too familiar. So I remember probably about last year or the year before, because time's going so quick, I can't keep up. There was this doctor, once again, him and his wife and child was in a Tesla, and he drew off a cliff. He was just like, I'm gonna take myself out and I'm taking you guys with me. But the gag is, they all survived. So this was before Elon Musk was doing best friends with Trump. So when this first happened, I was like, oh, shout out to Tesla, you know what I mean? Like, that car saved their life. The car was obviously written off, but they all literally came out, not that, you know what I mean? Like, barely a scratch on them. And I can imagine for the child, that must have been so scary to literally, you know, just go flying off a cliff. Like, thank God they all had their seatbelts on and they all survived. And yeah, I'm sure that man got arrested and he's in prison now. There's another story that happened. So that one was in America. A story that happened in the UK. This Asian couple, I'll put a picture of the woman that was sadly unalived. But yeah, young couple, newlyweds. She was expecting their child. It's very similar to this story. They went on some mountain, you know, they were hiking, whatever. And he unalived his wife. By the grace of God, the little strength that she had left in her, the people that were trying to help her, you know what I mean, on the ground, she said to them, my husband just pushed me off the cliff. So obviously, you know, this is all alleged, but you know, he came running down, you know, all panicking, like, oh my gosh, my wife. And the people are just like, obviously they rang the police, so the police were there to arrest him. But it was a long investigation because he kept saying, no, she fell, like he was proper like pleading his innocence. Even till today, he's still pleading he's innocent. But those standbyers and those rescuers at the bottom of the mountain, they were like, no, she told us, you pushed her. So again, with this story, by the grace of God, even though, so as you heard in that news clip, like, he's tried to inject her, and then because that didn't work, he's been whacking her with rocks, and then he's obviously pushed her. So obviously other people have ran like, oh my gosh, like what's this man doing? He's attacking this woman. So thank God for these Hawaiian people that, you know, got involved. But yeah, like thank God when he injected her, it didn't work. Like sometimes when you get injected or you get spiked, you might go dizzy and unconscious, but like you can still hear. So even with this, he rang, soon as he injected her, he rang his son. So she obviously heard, you know, the plan. So a lot of people are like, wow, was his son in on it? Like, you know what I mean? But he's been arrested, and obviously there's going to be an investigation going on. But yeah, this is a real life demon. And just for women that are in toxic relationships, please do be careful and try and get out while you can. He was accusing this woman of cheating on him, and because she didn't want, so he wanted to take a picture like right at the edge of the cliff. You know those like daredevils and the risk takers? He was trying to be one of them. Like, bro, you're not an influencer, you're a doctor. But she had like a weird feeling, you know, you just got that weird feeling. So he was like, come and take this picture right on the edge. And she was like, no. And then from then, he just lost it and went crazy and tried to inject her. He had like, so with this as well, he dropped one of the syringes. And then obviously when the police are investigating, they found one of the syringes full of whatever, you know what I mean, he was trying to inject her with. So all the evidence is there. They just need to charge him, send this guy, please give him the death sentence, like send this man away so he's never out in public and he's never operating on anyone again. And just thank God for the Hawaiian people and that this woman is safe. And I hope she gets all the help she needs. They've got 2 kids together who are quite young, and he's got that son from a previous marriage. And again, guys, the gag is his ex-wife works for the news, like the news article, like the news place. So this must just be like really awkward for her. Like, is she gonna write about it? Like, I don't know what their relationship's like. They were married for a decade, and obviously I don't know if she wanted the divorce or he did. Most likely it was her. And hearing this, you know when you see your ex move on and they just turn out to be really horrible people, I know she must be like, thank God this never happened to me. Because the same way it happened to his new wife, it could have happened to her.
46-year-old doctor just tried to kill his nuclear engineer fucking wife on vacation. Okay, ladies, if your husband is not a very romantic guy, he's not taking you on a lot of trips, and suddenly he's like, you know what, babe, we should go on a trip, and he's not, don't go, because these men, they plan these trips. It's like, oh no, she fell off the goddamn cliff in Hawaii. What a tragedy. Oh, she fell off the cruise ship into the fucking ocean. Oh, sad. How fucking sad. You want to know why women are the ones starting 80% of divorces? Because men are just fucking off in their wives. Okay, when they don't want them anymore, they're like, if I can't have her, nobody fucking can. Okay, you guys know you're allowed to apply for a fucking divorce too, right? You don't have to fucking kill your wife. Don't even fucking start with me on divorce. She was a fucking nuclear engineer, okay? If both people are making equal amounts of money, no, the woman just doesn't take everything a man has in divorce. That's something you guys made up in your goddamn fucking heads. Okay, so you better not.
Whew. You know what? She made some really good points in her video. Listen, we all know some people are just not spontaneous or like to do things, even if they're in a relationship, like man or woman. But one thing she said there that perked up in me when she was like, if you have a husband or a significant other that doesn't usually like to like fly out, go on trips, restaurants, and then all of a sudden they're like, oh babe, let's do this. Don't do it. They're setting you up. Don't do it. You're gonna have the worst trip. Let's just say they're not setting you up. You're gonna have the worst trip ever because it's just not in them. Like, this sounds a lot like my dad, who's a big narcissist. My mum was always the one suggesting, let's do this, and he'll be like, no, no, no. And if he ever suggested to my mum, oh, let's go on holiday, I'd be like, don't do it. Something's not right. This is out of his character. Do not do it. So I love that she pointed that out. Because like she said, people be going on cruises and then they're just like, oh my gosh, my wife, like she dropped, like she slipped and dropped, or she jumped off, she, you know what I mean? And then all of a sudden there's like fake letters like, yeah, she's been feeling suicidal, you know, she's been really depressed recently. And it's just like, no, you just book this to just do a quick unaliving and so you can get away with it. I know in America, a lot of people unalive their family members for life insurance. So that's another thing. People are saying that maybe the wife wanted to divorce him, and there's some people, some men that, nah, if I can't have you, then no one can, so they take you out, and then most of the time they unalive themselves as well. But yeah, this story is it's scary, and like she said, do not be afraid of the D word, divorce. Like I said, if you're in a toxic or a violent relationship, please seek help and just get out. Even with divorce, I'm going to use Trick Daddy, the rapper, and Joy, his ex-wife. She's wanted a divorce from this man from like 10 years ago, and he won't give it to her. So she's moved on now. She's had boyfriends, girlfriends. But that's the other problem. Certain men, once you want a divorce, they'll never give it to you. So you just stuck with that surname and that man in your life forever. You know what I mean? But if it's really violent, like physical, daily, please seek help and refuge, because I know it's hard when you've got kids, when he owns the cars, you know, the money, the finances, you know what I mean? But it's better to be alive than unalive. So if you can, please seek help. Go to your nearest, police station. You know, maybe talk to one of the teachers at the school, but there's different ways to find help, you know what I mean? But yeah, like, I'm shocked by this, but not surprised, because it is becoming more of a, occurring thing. And it's just weird because they all seem to be in that line of work of being a doctor. So the two that I mentioned, the one that happened in the UK and the one with the Tesla, I will link those news articles in my bio, so please check it out.
The doctor in Hawaii who tried to push his wife off of a cliff but she survived FaceTimed his son immediately afterwards saying, "I tried to unalive her, but she survived." A lot of people have wondered, did the son have anything to do with this? This was a son, his oldest son, from his first marriage. Now, his first marriage lasted until 2014, and it was over a decade. Now, in this restraining order petition that Ariel filed when she was able to survive and get away, get treated, and talk to the police, chronicled the entire event, which I have another video on that tells all the details, and it's pinned. But while she's chronicling what happened and how he's trying to stick her with a syringe and push her off and all this stuff, there's also a part where she says that he FaceTimed his oldest son. Now, I don't know if when these witnesses came, that means that he's standing there pacing, calling in a manic state, or she sees him calling as he's running away. But a lot of people have wondered if that son had anything to do with it. And here's why I don't believe that he did it all. Ariel has that restraining order. It is for her. It is for their 2 kids and their dog. Also, that son that he called, a restraining order does protect him as well. His first wife is a podcaster. She writes for the Pittsburgh newspaper. There are articles coming out in that area. So not only is Ariel, their 2 kids, immediate family, a victim of all of this, but so is the first wife and the other 2 kids. There is just so much trauma that has come out of this case. Not to mention, we've also learned that in that restraining order, she said that it all seemed to escalate last December when he accused her of cheating and then became so controlling. He ABUS'd her as well as actually assaulted her.
That's good that she's got protection, from him, and then obviously for the kids. But again, it's just awkward because it just makes you think, did his first son know that this was going to go down? You know what I mean? So now, you know what I mean? Let's just say his son didn't know. Now his son's getting dragged into it. Can you imagine just getting a random phone call of one of your parents like, "Oh, I've just tried to unalive, and it's just like, wait, what? You know what I mean? If you had no clue, you didn't know there was any problems, and then your dad's just rang you up out of the blue saying, "Oh, I've just done this." This is insane. I hope his son didn't have no involvement, but if he did, I wouldn't be surprised because he is that man's son. But yeah, like she stated, his ex works for the news agent. So again, I hope she writes about it. I hope she speaks on her experience, because sharing is knowledge, you know what I mean? Spreading awareness. I know it might be embarrassing, but you've lived through it, you've survived. Same with this current wife. We thank God that she survived. But yeah, I feel like stories like this need to be shared more often. Like, even like with this channel, most of the time I'm talking about, celebrity stuff. Trump, Trump's a big person on my channel. I know that's real life and it's politics, but I know videos like this or topics like this won't really push through the algorithm, because YouTube doesn't really like people speaking on, like dangerous stuff, more serious, life-threatening stuff. But I feel like when you've got a platform, you need to use it correctly. And like I said, DV, it's like the number one like thing in the UK. There's a lot of women that have to flee the household because of DV. Like toxic relationships are on the rise, you know what I mean? You've got the celebrity ones like Blueface and Krishan, you know what I mean? Like it's good watching it on TV, you know, we love to watch the train wreck, but in real life, getting punched up every day, your significant other talking to you like you're a piece of crap on the floor, it's not the way forward. So yeah, like I said, just please, if you're in anything similar to this, or you just got that feeling, listen, your instincts are never wrong. When you've got that feeling, that's the one. And you know what's mad? Even with me, I like to travel, and I always warn my mum, listen, God forbid if I ever get unalived or a pass while I'm on holiday, hire a private investigator, because I don't want whatever police, let's just say I'm in Spain, I don't want the Spanish police coming to my mum like, yeah, she committed, you know, can't even say the word on here, she committed da 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 da, and it's just like, no, that's not my daughter. So I tell my mum, listen, I'm a traveller, I love to travel. If I end up, that means someone unalive me. I would never, like, I don't believe in the S word. So out of nowhere, if that was to happen to me on holiday, that means someone unalive me. So get that investigated and get the killer caught.
This doctor was just arrested on attempted murder charges after he threw his wife off of a cliff in Hawaii and then tried to beat her with a rock in the head until she passed away. And the reason why is going to shock you. All right, this is anesthesiologist Gerhard Koenig, and he tried to kill his wife. This is his wife. She's a nuclear engineer, and they were on vacation in Hawaii. So they're walking along, seeing the sights, and they get to this place in Hawaii that's got great views, and Gerhard says, hey, I want to take a picture. And his wife says, nah. And so he flips out, apparently, and he pushes her off the cliff. And then because she didn't die, he goes down the cliff and starts beating her and punching her in the head, causing severe injuries. Fortunately for her, she did not die. She was rushed to the hospital in serious and critical condition. He was actually captured in a foot chase about 8 hours later and is now in jail on attempted murder charges.
I loved how animated he was. Like, listen, talking about serious topics is not for everyone. So I'm not laughing because it's funny. It's just the way he's like, he threw his wife off a rock and then tried to beat her with the rock. You know what I mean? And I'm just like, and it's just how, you know what I mean? Let's just say you were blind and you're listening to him, like, the images will be so graphic, it's crazy. But again, look at the reason why he's accusing her of cheating. And it's the way he said, oh, he invited her to take a picture near the edge, and she's like, nah. And then he just started, you know what I mean? It's just the way he's describing it. It's just funny. But yeah, again, like, he got straight to the point and told you that's literally what he did. You know what I mean? There's a lot of controlling men that as soon as you don't do what your partner or your husband asks of you, they just go crazy on you. And it's just like, it shouldn't be like that. Like, that's not love. That's not a healthy relationship / marriage. And again, your instincts never, you know what I mean? They never lie. She must have had some feeling like this ain't it. And you hear stories every day, you know, influencers that love to live on the edge. They take a snap, and that's the last snap they ever take. Like, they fell to their death just to try and get that perfect selfie. So like he said, he's a specialist in anesthesia. So that's just scary on its own. I hate that stuff, but obviously to do the operation, you have to be under, you know what I mean? Under it. But yeah, just that alone is scary. And you know what's weird? This is why I know God's real. This guy does this for a living, like he's a doctor, and he's tried to use it on his wife and it didn't work. And it's scary because anesthesia can wear off, we know this, like you're only meant to be under it over a certain amount of hours. So he tried to give it to her, it didn't work, and then he started bashing her. And then, thank God, there were some people around and they came running over. Then he just ran all crazy into the woods and he finally got caught. But it's the fact that the police found more like syringes that he had ready, and it's just like, what? Like, there's just so many layers to this. Like, what was you planning to do with her body? Like, you know what I mean? You pushed her off the cliff, that didn't work. You bashed her head in, that didn't work. You injected her, that didn't, like, what was you gonna do? What was you gonna do next? Like, chop, chop, chop. Like, this is crazy. But yeah, just be careful.
Saved by 2 hikers? This story is insane! This guy's an anesthesiologist. tells his wife, let's go for a hike, baby. Let's go for a hike. They get to a mountain's edge. He's like, you know what we should do? We should take a selfie right here at the mountain edge. And he gets there with the selfie camera, and he was going to give her the heave-hove, heave-hove. And she gets nervous and says, no, I don't want to take a picture there. He then attacks her and does this 10 times, folks. 10 times. The only thing that saved her was there was 2 hikers that heard her. The girl went over to one hiker and saw him on top of her. On top of her. They saved her, folks. They saved her. Insane story. There's even more to it. Go read, folks. Insane. Men, there's this thing. You can file paperwork. It's called a divorce. You can get a divorce. Guys, what do you think in the comments? Insane.
You heard about this doctor, the anesthesiologist in Hawaii, who tried to allegedly push his wife off a cliff. They were hiking in Oahu, and he was like, come over here, come closer, come over here, come closer. And she's like, I don't really like it. This seems a little close. And he's like, no, come here right now. And she got a little closer, and he tried to push her off the cliff, telling her that he hated her, he was sick of her. Then they started fighting. She says he hit her with a rock like 10 times over the head, and then he got 2 syringes out of his bag and tried to inject her. Woo! Thank the Lord, our girl was a fighter, and there were 2 other women who came along the trail and was like, get off of her, or we're gonna call 911. So they called 911, helped the woman down to the base. Police went after him. She tells police in her subsequent application for a restraining order, like, in December, he started accusing me of cheating. He was getting super jealous, all this kind of stuff. We've been going to counseling, but, like, you know, there's been some stuff. But, like, we just went on this hike, and he tried to, like, off me. So they granted the restraining order. He was arraigned yesterday on charges of attempted murder. He's an anesthesiologist. What's up with doctors? What's up with the doctors doing this, okay? I think divorce is okay. I know you're going to have to, like, pay out a little bit of money because you got a 2-year-old and a 4-year-old, I think it is. But, like, divorce is better than ruining your whole entire life, taking the life of the mother of your children and leaving them parentless. Okay? That's the better option for fathers who don't like their wives. Just divorce them. Pay the money. He used to be a professor of anesthesiology and biomechanical engineering, I think, at the University of Pittsburgh. Crazy.
Again, she was quite animated. I think it's because it's a serious topic on TikTok. People just, try and put a little shimmer on it. But I do like how she broke it down. She, he wanted to take the selfie on the edge. She was like, no. Then they started arguing. He probably started accusing her of, oh, it's because you wish you were with this person because you've been cheating on me. Then he started throwing rocks at her. Then the syringes fell on the ground. And it's just like... And you know what's mad? What she said, that the people that came along were 2 women. Like, who runs the world? Girls, like, shout out to them. Because sometimes when you see a conflict or you see, like, a couple arguing, you might want to help, but you're scared because maybe the man might hit you. You know what I mean? Like, but shout out to them for helping. They called the police. The police were quick to come on the scene. So this is amazing. Obviously, it's pending investigation, but now he's getting attempted murder. Obviously, he didn't unalive her, but the fact that he tried, it's just like... But at the same time, I know in America you guys do not play with your sentencing, so I hope he gets sentenced to the max. But I feel like he should get the death, because it's just like, well, let's unalive you and see how you like it. Like the woman said, it's these doctors, like, there's an uprise in doctors doing the maddest stuff to their spouses. But like she said, they've got kids. He ain't never seen these kids again. Obviously, his career's done. You know what I mean? Like, you've literally just mashed up anything. Why? Because you tried to unalive your wife on her birthday. Can we just deep this? There's no perfect time to unalive anyone. But how are you taking her from her good comfort home, her kids, on her birthday, trying to unalive her? Like... When I say this man is a real life demon, he is a real life, and he needs to go straight to the pits of hell. But yeah, guys, just be careful out there. Share this video, spread awareness. If you know anyone that's in a toxic relationship, talk to them and please tell them to get out, like, now, like ASAP. But yeah, guys, let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Do you know any person that's in a toxic relationship, or have you heard any other stories you want me to cover? Please like, comment and subscribe and share this video. Stay safe, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye.